10 rotator cuff exercises. You're going to start off with an elastic band, attach it to something, and the first one, you're going to pin your elbow to your hip, and it's just rotate out. You want to limit your range of motion to where you can keep proper form without going too far. It's not a huge motion, and you actually don't want it to be a huge motion because as you rotate out, you're actually going to start using your arm more than your shoulder. So keeping it pinned into your hip is what isolates the shoulder. The second one is essentially the same thing, only you're pushing instead of pulling. So pin into your hip, and then you just push. The next one is pretty simple. You can actually do both arms at the same time. Stand here. You want your shoulders actually down, seated in the socket, not up like this, but down. And then you just push forward. This is a bigger range of motion, but you still should be concentrating on just using your shoulder. Then same thing, except for it's the pulling motion. You work both sides of the rotator cuff. Next one is overhead, and you're just going to push out. Again, you want to keep your shoulder down in the socket. You don't want it up here. So down, and you're going to push out. Usually for these, you want to anchor these pretty high. I don't actually have an anchor point here that is high enough. Also, you're going to do the same thing, but in the opposite direction. Works the rotator cuff just slightly differently. This one's a lot harder. It's a very limited range of motion this direction on your shoulder. So just kind of do what you can. Don't push it too much. You also up and push back. And turn around, push forward. And again, concentrate just on using your shoulder. Don't want to engage your arms at all. Snow angels, which is essentially what you're going to do. Start with your back against the wall, and you want to keep your back against the wall the entire time. Your fingertips are going to lightly touch the wall, and you're just going to pull your shoulders down and then push them up. I'm going to try to do this motion entirely with your shoulders. It takes a little bit of kind of getting used to understand where you need to stop. If you feel your chest coming forward, that means you've gone down too far. You want to just go down as far as you can without your chest coming up. This last one requires you to use cans of soup for your weight. Start off without using the cans of soup until you get used to the motion, and then once it gets easy, add the cans of soup for weight. This is the only one that doesn't actually use the elastic bands, so you can actually do it anywhere because you don't even really need the cans of soup. They just make it a little bit harder. So you're going to start off with your hands in a Y shape. You want your pretty much your palms facing in. That puts your arms in a good position when you're carrying the cans of soup. With your head down, you're going to shrug your shoulders to raise your hands off the ground. And that's it. It helps you understand what it means to keep your shoulders seated in the socket because you can really feel it whenever you're doing this.
rotator cuff exercises.